In this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 signs that you're ready for your driving test. Number 5 is actually about roundabouts, and personally I think that roundabouts are the best way to tell whether you're ready to go drive solo with an examiner or whether you just need a couple more lessons to brush up your skills. What this video will do is, if you're not quite ready for your driving test, it will show you what you're aiming for. And if you are ready, it will give you the reassurance that you can go and pass your driving test first time. Number 1 is that you're predicting and not reacting. There's a phrase that I like to use with learners when I'm teaching them in the car. You might have heard me say it before on the channel. This is smashing you in the face. What that means is you need to be ahead of the car. And sometimes when you're driving, the car can get ahead of you, so you're behind it. When you're driving along, you always need to be 5 steps ahead of everything happening out of the windscreen. But if you're not keeping up with that, then you can start to become 4 steps, 3 steps, 2 steps ahead, and then 1 step ahead, which means you're only reacting to exactly what's in front of you on the road, which means that you're going to take quick, rush decisions, which normally aren't the best ones. Let me show you what I mean. As I turn onto this new road, I'm looking all the way down the road, scanning absolutely every hazard that's in front of me, and looking at the pavements, which means that I can spot everything that I need to do next, like check my mirrors to move from this van. I can see the cars slowing down way ahead of me, and I can see the children on the pavement. I can see the traffic lights ahead of me. There's a cyclist on the left as well. There's a car on the right of me that might be emerging from the junction after the petrol station. Every single hazard that's in front of me on the road, I'm ahead of it by so far. The car's here, but my thinking is all the way down the road there. So as I'm approaching this traffic light, I'm looking and scanning to see if the button's been pressed. The light isn't lit up, so I know that those traffic lights won't change. I'm way ahead of every single hazard that's on the road. Again, car slowing down, children on the left, and parked cars on the left. So I don't need to approach this parked car, check my mirrors, and swerve out of the way in one rushed movement. Because I've acknowledged the parked car so far back down the road, I can have checked my mirrors way in advance, know what's on my right, and then just concentrate on steering around it. Sometimes when you're driving, if you're not an experienced driver, a lot happens all at once, and it takes you a second or two to process each individual thing, which means that you have to start playing catch up with what's on the road. Here's my best advice if that happens to you while you're on the road. Slow yourself down just a few miles an hour. That will give you the time and headspace to start catching up to every hazard that's on the road in front of you, so that you can start dealing with them again much more effectively and give yourself that time to breathe. You can identify if hazards are just smashing you in the face, because things will happen and you'll have to deal with them immediately. That should never be the case in driving. Let's look ahead in the road. Bus lane. Slowing down vehicles, bus up ahead, and traffic lights which are just changing to green. You probably can't see that on the screen because they're so far ahead, but that's how far ahead I'm planning. That's giving me ample time to deal with those traffic lights, to deal with the slowing down vehicles. I've got so much time to check my mirrors. But if I'm playing catch up with all of those situations, we're going to be checking my mirrors late. I'm going to be noticing things really late. I won't have seen those traffic lights go green again, which means I won't be aware the traffic is about to start speeding up. If you find this skill difficult, here's what to do. You need to start throwing your vision further down the road. Start calling out hazards even, like I've just been doing. Traffic light, bus, car emerging on the right, another car emerging on the right, oncoming vehicle, pedestrian on the left, bus lane sign, everything that could potentially cause you a problem. That BMW is trying to turn across me. Are they going to? I don't know yet, but I'm ready in case they do. Play a game with whoever you're driving with, mum, dad, instructor, where you have to call out hazards. The other person also has to call out hazards. Anything that could make you stop, slow, or swerve. Anything that's in front of you that you might click for on a hazard perception test. The difference is, when you start learning, you have to take so long to overcome each hazard that there's no way that you can process 5 things at the same time. But once you've gained more experience and you're ready for your driving test, you'll be able to spot things farther down the road and deal with them much quicker, so then you can move on to the next one. That's a sign you're ready to take your driving test. This next sign that you're ready for your driving test is really important, and it's probably the one that learners underestimate the most. Can you drive without prompts? Let me explain what I mean. So when you first start learning a skill in driving, parallel parking, steering, clutch control, anything, your instructor will explain it to you. Then they'll let you go and practice that skill. But what they'll do, if you haven't already noticed, is they'll be asking you questions, giving you small prompts to bring out the correct answer or bring out the correct reaction in your driving. But as you get better and better and better at a skill, they'll start to leave it up to you. to ask yourself the right questions, and up to you to take the correct actions at the right time. So here's what to do. Ask yourself the question, on my last lesson, did my instructor have to tell me anything? Did my instructor have to correct anything? Did my instructor have to step in to make sure that I did something that I wasn't already thinking about doing? And if you've done mock tests, which I hope you have if you're thinking about taking a driving test soon, did you get any minors and majors on that mock test? It's not so important to sweat the minors, the driver faults, because you're gonna get those on your real test. I guarantee it. It's so rare to get a driving test with 0 faults. It's almost not even worth aiming for it. But if you got to fail any serious or dangerous faults, then that's probably a clear indication that you need to brush up on 1 or 2 areas of your driving skills. Here's what a great unprompted drive should look like. I'm the student, I'm driving, my instructor's in the passenger seat. We're driving along, we're having chats about football, farms, food, anything but driving. If you and your instructor aren't that chatty, then hey, you fill the silence. You fill the silence with talk about what's coming up next. Hazard perception and commentary is one of the biggest hacks that I know to pass your driving test, and I made a video all about it. It's in the top right-hand corner right now. If you haven't seen that already, I highly recommend it. But a great commentary drive from a learner can be the only sound that we want to hear on a driving lesson. So traffic lights, parked cars on the left, pedestrian on the left that I'm gonna watch out for if she turns around. I'm definitely gonna be aware that she might cross the road. There's a red light up ahead, so I'm just gonna start slowing myself down nice and early in anticipation of it turning green. I'm not gonna hold up the traffic behind, but if I can slow down enough, by the time I get there, it might turn green. It probably won't. Now I've said it, I've completely jinxed it. Gonna check my mirrors and signal, slow myself down to stop at the white line, and I'm then gonna, once I've stopped, be ready to set off again. So I'm ready to check my mirrors. I know what I'm gonna do with the clutch. I'm on a downhill, so I don't need to find the biting point. That's a great commentary. I'm not gonna keep going. If you want more information about commentary, click the video I showed you earlier. I'll also put it in the description. But essentially, if your instructor can leave the driving up to you and have a conversation about anything else, that's a great sign. This third sign that I think you're ready for your driving test, you probably wouldn't imagine I'd say, but, oh, stalled there. Switched off, switched on, carried on, rechecked, joined the road, no problem. Even give a hand, no drama at all. You can't see, but that guy behind gave me a hand back, no drama, we're all winning. So the third sign, because you will make mistakes in your driving test, I almost guarantee it. It's so rare to do a perfect driving test. We're not aiming for that, we don't need that. So be ready to make mistakes. What are you gonna do? Are you equipped with the skills in your arsenal to recover from a mistake effectively when you inevitably make one on your driving test? And mistakes aren't just the obvious. I stalled at that junction. It's glaringly obvious. It's easy to switch my car back on again, and then I carry on. Mistakes can be anything else. Let me explain. On your driving test, you're gonna get either a hill start or an angled start. Guaranteed, it's part of the driving test. A hill start is when you set off on a hill. An angled start is when you set off close to another vehicle. So your examiner's just pulled you over here. Look at the size of this hill. Your heart's going pitter patter, pitter patter. You're about to set off. You don't want to roll back. Your nerves are in bits. You put the car into first gear. You do all of your observation checks. You've spotted a really nice gap to pull away. You've realized you didn't signal. Oh my God. The examiner's noticed. You've seen him now tapping on the iPad, or her, or them. You've seen the iPad tap, you know you're getting marked for it. And you're like, oh my God, is that a fail? Is that a minor? What am I doing with myself? How did I let myself do this? How many times have I pulled away from a bloody hill start perfectly, but on my driving test, I've done it wrong? Well, hey, listen, you're now not concentrating on the road. It doesn't matter whether it's a fail or a minor, you're in the worst position in the car on a driving test as a learner to judge mistakes. Leave that up to the examiner and waste their time at the end discussing the mistake. All you're doing right now is wasting brain power and energy that you could be spending on focusing on the road ahead. I'll tell you the 2 prime times I think that you'll fail your driving test. 1, when you lose concentration, and 2, at the end of your driving test. when you lose concentration. So the real key is to keep focused the whole way around your driving test and focus on the road, not on the mistakes. That's already happened, you've banked it. You've got the minor, you've got the fail. You don't know yet. You can't go back and fix it. You can't go back and change it. So wasting energy, brain power, and resources up here, thinking about something that's happened that you have no control over is silly. So when you've made a mistake, bank it, note it down, talk to the examiner about it later. It's probably not a fail unless the examiner used their brakes, intervened with your steering. Even if they give you verbal help and you think that's sus, they've definitely failed me because he told me which way to go there. It's probably not a fail. Keep driving to the best of your ability, recover well, recover quickly, and you're probably still passing your driving test. Here's sign number 4 that you're ready for your driving test. You're part of the crew now, you're part of the flow of traffic. You're not holding people up, you don't feel like an inconvenience. You're just a grey car in amongst a sea of other grey cars. You don't stand out, you don't stick out, and you're just a driver in amongst all the other drivers getting from A to B, not passing a driving test. I'm just driving. Here's what that looks like. I'm on a 30-mile-an-hour road and I'm at the speed limit because there's no other hazards around. I don't feel like that's too fast. I don't feel like that's too slow. I feel like I perfectly fit in with the other drivers on the road. I flowed straight into second gear to keep up with the flow of this traffic. I can see them slowing down and I've flowed it into first gear. It's smooth, it's faultless, it's effortless, it takes minimal thinking, and I can enjoy myself doing it. I'm reading what's happening ahead of me on the road. I can see it. It's like the Matrix, when Neo realizes he's the one, and then every part of computer code from the entire Matrix is visible to him.
He is the one.
That's what driving feels like when you've mastered it. I can see the pattern of cars. I can see what other people are doing just by their body language. I can read cars like a book and I can understand what they're telling me. When you're ready for your driving test, when you're ready to drive solo, being another driver on the road isn't a headache. It's not a chore. It doesn't require much brain work and it's enjoyable. There's a thing that my mate Vicky told me about driving test nerves. If you're really nervous, one of the reasons might be that you're just not quite ready. You haven't got enough hours under your belt. You haven't got enough experience in the car to be able to understand it, to be able to flow with it well enough, to be able to be so confident in your driving ability that when an examiner says, turn left, you're like, watch this. It comes down to how connected you are with the car. If you have to think, well, I'm taking that 90-degree corner, I should probably turn 15 minutes, a quarter of a turn to the left or right, then you probably do need a little bit more experience and car time, to be honest. Because when you're confident at driving, you can see a corner and you just turn around it. You and the car are connected. The car's not controlling you, you're controlling it. When you're at one with your car controls, the car will put you on the road as fast as you ask it to, where you ask it to, and when you ask it to. That's when you're ready for your driving test. The last sign that you're ready for your driving test is roundabouts. And for me, as an instructor, this is the sign that's most obvious when people aren't quite ready to drive on their own. Roundabouts should flow. Roundabouts should be easy and you shouldn't have to second guess yourself to get yourself around them. Whether it's a big spiral roundabout or a small mini roundabout, it should be an opportunity that you relish. Oh, we're coming up to a roundabout, let me show you what I can do. Not a thing that you dread. Oh, we're coming up to a roundabout, I absolutely hate these. We're coming up to a pretty huge roundabout now, and this is the level of confidence that you need to display to be able to pass your driving test. And when I see people are nervous about roundabouts or hate roundabouts, I know that this is something that we need to work on over and over again until you get more confident and start to tell me, do you know what, don't mind a roundabout. So we're coming up to a roundabout, I know already what speed I'm approaching. I know exactly where I'm going, I know where my exit is, and I'm confident that I can judge and pick gaps with ease and without stress. Okay, fine, that one was pretty easy, but we are coming up to a bigger one. I'm turning right on this one. I'm confident in my approach procedure. I'm really confident in my procedure on how I am on the roundabout. It's not too fast, I don't feel rushed, but it's not sluggish. I can change gear while turning. I know exactly where to indicate and I know exactly how to exit. Fancy another one? Let's turn left, mirror, signal. I'm approaching. Before I even get to the mouth of the roundabout, I'm looking at the pattern of the traffic that's approaching from my right. I know that I can see a gap, but it might not be there. I'm thinking about my exit. I'm thinking about that corner shape. I'm thinking about how much I will need to steer around it. I'm still judging the pattern of the traffic, and I can see cars' body language. I can see whether they're on the inside and coming towards me. I can see whether they're moving towards the outside and exiting. I know how big of a gap that I can take, and I know how to power my car forward into that gap. Here's a massive roundabout. I'm gonna go left second exit. On your driving test, you're either gonna be following a sat-nav, the examiner's gonna be giving you directions, or you're gonna be following road signs. All three of those you will need to do in real life. You need to follow road signs. You need to follow a sat-nav if you don't know where you're going. And sometimes people will give you directions. If any of those fills you with dread, you need to practice them more. I know, everybody wants to pass with the least amount of hours because driving lessons are expensive, but this is your safety we're talking about. Roundabouts are everywhere in the UK. You can't go anywhere without bumping into a roundabout. So being able to do them confidently and safely isn't just important, it's absolutely essential. This roundabout isn't just a big stupid roundabout I found to prove a point. This roundabout is on a test route. This is Worcester. This roundabout is on the Worcester driving test route. And if you come here on your driving test when you're already full of nerves, but you're also dreading roundabouts, this is going to be a recipe for disaster. But if you're relishing the prospect and you've done this 20, 30 times with your instructor, every single exit, you're not going to have a problem. Guys, it's about getting the reps in. It's about doing it over and over and over again until you've got it nailed down and you're comfortable. Once you've done it right once, that's not the time to sack it in and say, cool, I'm done, great. Once you've done it right once, that's the time to go, awesome, I understand this, let's keep going and getting it right over and over and over again, so that when I'm on my own, or I'm under pressure on a driving test, that's when I can pull it right out of the bag and show the examiner why I deserve a driving license. Third exit right, mirror, signal. I'm approaching this because I've done it so many times without having to think too hard. Fourth gear, turn. Keep the signal on. 1, 2, signal. More gas. Accelerate. Check my mirrors to exit. Cancel the signal. Around the bend. Not a problem. So, if roundabouts fill you with dread, or you just need a couple of tips from your driving instructor to get you through that road, or that situation, then you're probably not ready to drive on your own. But if you can honestly tick off all 5 signs and say, Francis, you're talking about me, then you're ready for your driving test. And I hope that this video's given you more confidence that you can pass because you deserve it, because you're ready. If you've got a driving test coming up, let us know in the comments when it is and how you're feeling about it. And if you need more tips for your driving test like these, this is the video to watch next. If you found this helpful, share it with someone else who's got a driving test, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, peace, bye.